Hello once again, everybody. Visiting right now with Alan Armstrong of the Springfield area. Alan, first of all, can you tell us a little bit about your farm operation?
Well, sure. We're a corn soybeans operation. We 50-50, 100% no-till, half corn, half soybeans.
Very good. Now, the discussion here today, we talked largely about GMOs and genetically modified organisms. That's a big sounding phrase, but what do you feel about the whole GMO issue?
Well, I guess from my perspective from the farm, the GMO is we've been genetically changing the crops we grow for hundreds of years. And in recent years, when it's got all the hype, is about the way we go about genetically altering that plant, and where man's going in there very precisely to go in and tweak just little bits. And to me, it's just a natural progression, just like every other has been in producing better, safer, quality food.
I think one of the questions was asked the difference between hybrids and the GMO experience, sort of similar in one way, except science has just been brought into it a little bit more.
Exactly. It's like everything else we do. As science evolves and we get better at what we do, why not implement that into our food supply? I make the correlation all the time. When I'm sick and I go to the doctor, I want the best and the latest medical techniques to be used based on good science to help me or my family, get well from whatever we're afflicted by. Why shouldn't my food be the same way?
Now, you're not saying anything other than GMO is just another tool in your toolbox.
Exactly. It's one of many tools. Not every crop I raise is GMO. I mean, it's specific niches for certain problems that we have. GMO is one of the tools that's allowed me to lower my carbon footprint. We use 1/3 of the fossil fuels today on our farm that we did 25 years ago. We use way less herbicide and insecticide than we did 25 years ago, and those GMO crops allow us to do it. We don't have to worry about the Roundup going off into the waterways and down the Mississippi. I'm a water quality guy. I'm an environmental guy. I look at it from big picture, and the GMOs are a tool that enable us to be more responsible farmers.
Alan, basically, I guess people are just looking for something that is safe to eat or to feed to their livestock, and science has really never proven that GMOs are harmful.
No, there's not one shred of credible scientific evidence that says anything negative about GMO and its safety. I mean, it's 100% safe. My family, we shop at the grocery store like everybody else. We eat out of the same food stream, and I wouldn't be a part of it if I didn't think it was safe. And we've fed it to our kids, and if we ever have grandchildren, we'll feed it to them as well. And I think it's perfectly safe and the responsible thing to do.
Alan Armstrong of Springfield has been our guest. Alan, thanks for being with us.
Hey, thank you very much.
And stay with us, back with more right after this.
Automate your existing sliding doors with Propel Automation of Ohio. Automate up to 60-foot twin sliding shed or barn doors with their award-winning patented system. And now Propel Automation of Ohio is part of Ohio Agribility Program, allowing Ohio farmers and farm families who are coping with disabilities or long-term health conditions to automate their doors. For security, safety, convenience, remember Propel Automation of Ohio. Check us out on the web at propelohio.com.
I'm Greg Koffenbarger, and I'm a bacon farmer.
Brought to you by the Ohio Pork Council.
When you think fertilizer, think Bambauer Fertilizer and Seed. Our new fertilizer facility in Jackson Center enables us full automation of fertilizer receiving and blending. The facility incorporates the fastest and most accurate mixer on the market, with the ability to efficiently add enhancement products such as Avail and Nutrisphere. Maximize your crop yield by utilizing the new technology at Bambauer's. Call 188-MAX-CROP today.
Hello once again, everyone. We're visiting today with Dr. Ruth McDonald of Iowa State University. When we talk about nutrition, and you're a dietitian, and as we talk about various nutrition, what is the impact when we discuss genetically modified organisms, or GMOs as they're more commonly known? What kind of impact does that have on what we eat every single day?
There's never been any evidence that genetically modified organisms change the nutritional value or the safety of the food supply. So there's really a negative or a null impact, just no impact at all of genetically modified organisms on the safety or the quality of the food supply.
Do you think it's the fear of the unknown? We, as consumers, hear GMOs and maybe not know exactly what it's all about?
Yeah, I think that the wording is very poor, the selection of genetically modified organisms. It's scientifically correct, but it sounds scary. And it also is something that most consumers don't understand fully. They don't understand the technology. They don't understand how that gets in the food supply and then what happens to that after they eat it. And so there's a lot of misunderstanding about, does a DNA get into me? Does that, whatever that's in that product somehow change my body? And that doesn't happen. It's just, basic understanding of digestion and absorption of nutrients. You don't incorporate those things into your body.
Now, is it something that, bottom line is, everybody just wants to have safe food to eat?
Yeah, absolutely. People are concerned about their food supply. That's a great thing. I think people should know about their food and where it comes from and how we produce it. But to be afraid of something that you don't understand, or to maybe buy into some of the misinformation that's being spread around pretty widely on the internet without really understanding the science and the real, the risk of the benefits and the actual controversy around it is unfortunate that we have people that don't understand it to the point where they just don't want to have anything to do with it and they want it out of the food supply.
I think the family has, or the family model has changed over the years, where at one time, maybe the young girl who is growing up knows how to prepare the food just like her mother always did, and then as we go along, maybe not quite as much. And is that where we go to having more and more processed foods?
Well, processed foods have been a benefit to our health in a lot of ways. When you process foods, you make it safer, you eliminate the pathogens, you make it more shelf stable so we don't waste as much food. We're also able to add nutrients to the food and make it even healthier for us. Yes, there's some negative aspects to processed foods. Some processed foods have too much sugar, too much salt, but those are not all processed foods, and you can make choices when you go to the store as to what you buy. I think that, going back to your question about who's cooking and who understands food, we have, as a society, moved away from spending a lot of time in the kitchen preparing food. And for good or bad, I think that we do other things, and we may not everybody wants to spend half of the day preparing dinner. They want to be able to do other things. So processed foods has allowed that to happen. I think people should know how to cook, and I think that we are wanting people to make sure that they do know how to prepare food, because it's a healthy thing to be able to do.
As an educator, do you find part of your time talking to people of all ages that may not really know how to grow a garden, how to do that, and what the benefits are of the foods that they can gather from the garden?
Well, I don't spend too much time teaching people about gardening. That's more of the horticulture side of things. I'm more on the nutrition and food science side. But I do believe that there is a growing interest in gardening, and I think that a lot of people are wanting to be able to do that and produce food in their yard. I don't know that it totally pays for the costs. I think that you can spend a lot of money growing a few tomatoes in your yard as opposed to buying them at a store where you get a more efficient cost. So I don't know that home gardening solves a lot of our problems. It does bring people back to where the food comes from, and certainly a fresh tomato from your garden is going to have a little bit of a different taste. But whether or not it's it's a necessary component to a healthy diet, I don't believe that.
Very good. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk with us.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
And stay with us. We'll return right after this.
Are you looking to buy or sell farmland? Then work with a company that works for you. Ron Spencer Real Estate. Founded in 1975, Ron Spencer specializes in farmland, agricultural, and commercial real estate. Check him out on the web for farm listings in Allen, Auglaize, Hancock, Hardin, Putnam, Paulding, Mercer, Van Wert counties, and more. With 3 locations to serve you, Ron Spencer Real Estate at rsre.com. That's rsre.com.
I'm Terry McClure, a 5th-generation soybean farmer. Farming can be tough, but we have the Ohio Soybean Council investing farmers' dollars to find new uses for soybeans. Their research helps develop better beans for livestock, poultry, and for people. It also helps create new products like soy-based cleaning supplies and paint cartridges. Plus, cleaner-burning soy biodiesel reduces our dependence on foreign oil. Soybeans are Ohio's #1 agricultural export. To learn more, visit soyohio.org.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to In Ohio Country Today. Earlier this afternoon, we had the opportunity to interview our Senator Rob Portman, and right now we want to interview our good friend Mike Clark, who brought Senator Portman here. Tell our viewers how important it is to see those politicians with their boots on the ground here in our agricultural industry.
Well, it's very important for him to be with the farmers because we are such a minority. And a lot of them are coming from representing large urban areas, especially in the House and stuff. And Rob has always been a good friend to agriculture and has always been willing to listen and come in and talk to us about the problems, and we're very appreciative for that.
You had a good crowd here today, and it really was important to see all the different types of farmers that were here. Of course, our grain farmers and some livestock farmers, and people talking about their vegetable crop. And I think Senator Portman hit the nail on the head. I think when it comes to businesses, we're all in that same category. We're all small businesses, and we're affected by a lot more than just the price of our commodities.
Exactly. Well, the problem of right now is there's no stability that we know what the government is doing. We don't know where we're at on estate taxes. We don't really know where we're at on the farm bill yet. The immigration is a big problem. There's 2 in our group that are very large. One was a large producer and the other one still is. That employed a lot of immigration. And that's a very important issue to us because they could not get other workers to do it. And then again is the health care. My wife had an aneurysm in '82. And I paid $22,000 a year for oodles a year for health insurance for a family of 5. Luckily, I incorporated and I was able to deduct it. Up until recently, farmers weren't able to deduct the health insurance. So health insurance is a big issue, and what you're going to do and how many employees. It don't affect me on my farm that bad. Mm-hmm. I furnish the insurance for my employees, but again, I got good, healthy employees, and it hasn't been a problem. But you get somebody that's got a sick child or a wife or themselves, it's a real problem on what health care will be.
You know, Mike, let's talk about your family farm here. It's more than just 1 or 2 generations. Apparently, you go back 5 generations, right?
Correct. I got the pictures on the wall over there, and I started farming. What got me started farming was rather interesting. We started growing beans in '45. That was the year I was born. We grew those for hay. But in '50, they found out the bean was more valuable than the hay. And it wasn't as dirty as baling the hay. So all the farmers hired me to cultivate. So I got to be with an adult group of farmers, and they found out I could cultivate, and that's how I got started. And then I've just expanded from there.
Well, Mike, I got to tell you how much we really, truly appreciate the opportunity of joining you down here in Warren County and seeing Senator Portman. And one last thing before we let you go, I mean, when you have this opportunity to bring in somebody like that, what again does that mean to you as far as connecting with politics?
Well, it means a lot because I'm a political junkie anyhow. And the worst problem is he really has the train of thought that most of us do, which makes it a little bad because we're all on the same page. But it means a lot to have somebody that knows what our interests are and out there representing us.
Yeah. Once again, Mike Clark from Warren County has been our guest. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Dan.
And we'll be back with more In Ohio Country Today right after this.
Allen Davis Insurance Agency, with 30 years commitment to the community, providing quality insurance services. Allen is a business owner and an active farmer, and he knows firsthand the pressures of running your farming operation. Call Allen today and ask about coverage for your farm, your vehicles, your equipment, crops, and more. Now with 3 locations to serve you in Wapakoneta, St. Mary's, and Minster. Call 1-800-686-2148. That's 1-800-686-2148.
When you think fertilizer, think Banbauer Fertilizer and Seed. Our new fertilizer facility in Jackson Center enables us full automation of fertilizer receiving and blending. The facility incorporates the fastest and most accurate mixer on the market, with the ability to efficiently add enhancement products such as Avail and Nutrisphere. Maximize your crop yield by utilizing the new technology at Banbauer's. Call 188-MAX-CROP today.
Welcome back to In Ohio Country Today. With me is Dan Camberoff, and Dan is with Columbus Irrigation Company. Dan, tell us, about what Columbus Irrigation does and how it's maybe a little unique for production agriculture here in Ohio.
Well, I gear my focus of my business towards agricultural producers. I stay away from the landscape area homeowners. And irrigation in Ohio is primarily, or can be, supplemental, because we do get a degree of rainfall in Ohio. So it kind of leans more towards high-value crops, vegetable crops, nursery, and also to greenhouse. Field crops, row crops, corn and soybeans in Ohio are primarily not irrigated because we get sufficient rainfall.
You're talking about sufficient rainfall for corn and soybeans and wheat, obviously, and hay production. Why wouldn't that be an adequate amount of rainfall for vegetable production here in Ohio?
Vegetable production, a lot of it, and pricing especially, is geared on market and timeliness for the market. Vegetables can go into dormancy very easily without adequate rainfall, without adequate moisture, and vegetables too are very resilient. But if you try to do something to avoid that dormant period, you're going to have an earlier crop, you're going to have a better crop, and along with the irrigation, we can do a lot of things to inject into the water, fertigation, to keep the plant and fruit moving along quicker, better, and giving a more timely early crop. So it's very valuable to vegetable production.
You made a mention, and I was going to ask that question because, as we go forward, the environment's very important and natural resources are very important to agriculture here in Ohio as we deal with a lot of issues from watersheds and Lake Erie, and, we can go on down the list. You made a point about being able to feed the plant, put it where it needs, and give it what it needs at the right time.
That's exactly right. We, fortunately, in this part of the country, water is not a commodity yet. It should be. It will be. You get out west, water conservation is a tremendous issue, and the more efficiently you put water down, the more direct placement of the water makes a tremendous difference. And myself, as being a steward of the land and being what I like to think of as being a conscientious distributor of irrigation, and it works well. The industry is leaning a lot towards drip irrigation for all those reasons. Takes less power, less resources to generate the water. You're working at lower pressures, closer timeliness, more efficient use, less evaporation. It's just a way to go.
Well, not only the conservation and proper use of the water, but the proper use of nutrients and not over fertilizing of the crop.
That's exactly right. just think of it in your own garden. If you didn't put if you could avoid putting fertilizer, water, nutrients in the middle of the row where the weeds grow, you're going to get less weeds. Put it all right in the row where the root system of the plant will pick it up. That's where it's going to be.
You know, Dan, that's a very interesting product here. And if somebody wanted to find out a little bit more information, where can they go?
I have a website. I don't want to be an internet salesperson. You need to talk to me. You're looking at the CEO, the president, the truck driver, the technical person, the trade show coordinator, all of the above. It's a one-man show. But I do have a website, and it is quite simply columbusirrigation.com, all one word. That'll give you all the links. Phone number, I'm in Ashland, Ohio. Phone number is 419-281-7000.
Dan, thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Automate your existing sliding doors with Propel Automation of Ohio. Automate up to 60-foot twin sliding shed or barn doors with their award-winning patented system. And now Propel Automation of Ohio is part of Ohio Agribility Program, allowing Ohio farmers and farm families who are coping with disabilities or long-term health conditions to automate their doors. For security, safety, convenience, remember Propel Automation of Ohio. Check us out on the web at propelohio.com.
I'm Greg Koffenbarger, and I'm a bacon farmer.
Brought to you by the Ohio Pork Council.
Big Oil presents Mr. Slick and Dummy.
Do you know what the RFS is, Dummy? It's the Renewable Fuel Standard. It requires the oil companies to blend renewable fuels with their gasoline.
And that's real bad, right?
Yeah, the Big Oil, because it means we use less oil and more renewable, Dummy.
Why doesn't Big Oil want you to know the RFS is good for America? You're no dummy. Don't let the oil industry treat you like one.
Hello once again. Kirk Merritt is the Executive Director of the Ohio Soybean Council. And the Ohio Soybean Council, Kirk, was one of the sponsors here today of the Food Dialogues. Tell us about that and what was accomplished.
Yes, Gary. Ohio Soybean Council, along with the Ohio Farm Bureau Federation and the U.S. Farmers and Ranchers Alliance, presented the Ohio Food Dialogues. There have been food dialogues at the national level in New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago, but Ohio was the first state to have the opportunity to do this. And the idea is to try to present education, raise the awareness about farming among non-farmers. So we're targeting consumers, we're targeting the media, trying to provide both sides of the story and then let the consumers make informed choices.
Very good. And I know that the council does this in a variety of different ways. And one of those ways is being a sponsor within Ohio Country Today, and we certainly appreciate that sponsorship as well.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Thank you very much. We appreciate the opportunity. Our farmer leaders are committed to communicating to their colleagues and also communicating to non-farmers about modern farming and the good stewards of the land that our farmers are.
Kirk, if folks would like to get some more information about the council or more information about the food dialogues that just were held, what's the best way for them to do that?
Our website is soyohio.org. They can find a lot more information there. Also at the Ohio Farm Bureau Federation's website, there will be more information about the food dialogues.
Very good. Kirk Merritt has been our guest, the Executive Director of the Ohio Soybean Council. Kirk, always a pleasure. Thanks for being with us.
Likewise. Thank you very much, Gary.
Allen Davis Insurance Agency, with 30 years commitment to the community, providing quality insurance services. Allen is a business owner and an active farmer, and he knows firsthand the pressures of running your farming operation. Call Allen today and ask about coverage for your farm, your vehicles, your equipment, crops, and more. Now with 3 locations to serve you in Wapakoneta, St. Mary's, and Minster. Call 1-800-686-2148. That's 1-800-686-2148.
What do pigs eat? Like all mammals, pigs start life on mother's milk. Pigs can begin eating solid food as little as 7 days old. A pig's first diet, baby pig feed, contains a lot of milk product and often additional flavoring. While some people think pigs will eat anything, modern pigs aren't fed slop or garbage. Rather, the healthy, quality diet of swine is derived from plants like corn and soybeans. In fact, most pig feed is about 80% corn and 17% soybean meal. The remaining 3% contains vitamins, minerals, and micronutrients needed for healthy development. Because pigs grow so fast, their feed is scientifically formulated to meet the ever-changing needs of their development. The exact ration for each group of pigs is carefully weighed and mixed, then delivered to their barn. Unlike some other animals, pigs won't actually pig out or overeat. So growing pigs have access to all the feed they want 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. A pig will eat as much as 7 pounds of feed and drink as much as 3 to 6 gallons of water per day. Every pig has full access to a pig drinker, where cold, fresh water is provided to pigs 24/7. So, what do pigs eat? Pigs grow on clean water and a healthy, quality diet of corn, soybean meal, and essential vitamins and minerals.
At Bambauer Fertilizer and Seed, we utilize small plot trials with third-party testing at our research center. These local trials help us to test new products, cultural practices, and ideas. Our goal is to utilize this information to support recommendations we make for your farm, bringing you the highest return for your investment. Explore the opportunities third-party research from Bambauer's can bring to your farming operation. Call 888-MAX-CROP